Hello, my fantastic fourth grade readers. This week we have been working so hard on building our fourth grade reading lives. I want you to take just a second to think, and you can pause the video if you want to take your time. And I just want you to take a second to think about everything you've done this week to set yourself up for you to be an awesome fourth grade reader. So take a second and think, what is everything we've already done this week to set ourselves up to be awesome readers? So pause if you want to, take a second and think. So that's right. This week we've gotten our reader's journal ready to go. We found some good fit books, and we found a good fit reading spot. So those are three things that are super important for getting ourselves organized. Remember one of our words from last week. We've gotten ourselves organized to be awesome fourth grade readers. So now that we are ready to get going and get started on reading, it's time to ask ourselves the question, what can I be doing as a reader to make sure that I learn as much as possible from my book? So today we are going to use our reading notebooks that we got ready on Monday. We're going to be using our reading notebooks to start sketchnoting about our reading. So today I want to show you how readers can use sketchnoting about what surprises them in order to learn more about their books. So we are going to be sketchnoting in our reader's notebook. So you're going to want to make sure that you have your reader's notebook and something to write with you. So if you don't have those things with you now, go ahead and press pause on the video and go grab them and then come back. So we're going to need that. Okay, fourth grade readers, now that we're all ready to go and we have our reading notebook and something to write with, I am going to share my screen with you. And while I'm doing this, you can turn to a new page in your reading notebook and just turn to the first blank page. So I am going to show you. This is the book that I showed you on Tuesday that I found as a good fit book. So this one was about National Geographic. This one is from National Geographic, and it is about wildfires. So this is the book that I was really excited to read because we had been having the wildfires, and I was really curious to know more about wildfires. So what we are going to do is I am going to read this book to you today. And while I'm reading, I want you to be looking for stuff that surprises you. I want you to look for surprising facts and information, maybe even pictures, things that surprise you. And once I come to a spot where we find something that we think is surprising, I'm going to show you how I would sketchnote it, and I'm going to have you sketchnote it in your notebook as well. So let's go ahead and get started. This is a book about wildfires. Make sure you're settling in, getting ready to read. Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming, USA, is a popular vacation spot. But in the summer of 1988, it was a danger to the public. Why? The place visited for its beautiful scenery was going up in smoke, just like we were. That makes me think about I have a connection. This makes me think about how it was looking outside for us about a week ago. The wildfires started slowly, but then they picked up speed. The park soon closed to the public. Fires burned for nearly 4 months. Whoa, that might be something surprising. By the end, almost 1 million acres of the park had burned. Wow. So we're going to read this yellow box now. It says the expression spread like wildfires comes from the fact that wildfires can grow very quickly, like the ones in Yellowstone National Park in the summer of 1988, or the ones that we just had in the Portland area. And this has a hot word. I love how these National Geographic books have hot words in there where they tell us about the words that we're learning about in the book. So this hot word is wildfire, and the definition that it gives is an uncontrollable fire that occurs outdoors, especially over a wooded area. Gigantic wildfires, like the ones in Yellowstone, don't happen very often, but they are common in wilderness areas. Some can get very large and spread quickly. They can put people and property in danger. Other fires stay small before going out on their own. After a fire, plants grow back and animals return. In fact, wildfires are an important part of nature. Whoa. That's something that I found to be so surprising. Did anybody else find that to be surprising too? I'm going to read it again. After a fire, plants grow back and animals return. In fact, wildfires are an important part of nature. That to me was so surprising. And as a reader, whenever I read something that's surprising, those are the kind of things that I want to remember. So this is when I would like you to go to the first page in your reader's notebook. And I am going to go ahead and open this page. We're going to pretend like this is my reader's notebook, but I'm just going to do it on my screen so that you can see what I'm doing too. So I want to go back and remind myself, after a fire, plants grow back and animals return. In fact, wildfires are an important part of nature. And whenever I go to Sketchnote, what I'm thinking about doing is I want to create easy pictures that help me remember the surprising facts in the book. So the fact that I really want to remember is that plants and animals leave during a wildfire and then they come back after the wildfire. That's a really surprising and important fact to me, because now that the wildfires are coming to an end in Oregon, I want to remember that the plants and animals, that they're going to come back. So I am going to draw, and you can draw this along with me, or you can draw something similar. I'm going to draw just a quick, easy sketch. We don't want these to take a lot of time because we're doing them to get our reading brains going. They're just going to be quick, easy sketches that'll help us remember the fact. So it doesn't have to be, it can be what we see in the book, or it can be something different. So I'm going to draw something that helps me remember that fact that was in the book, but it's not going to be exactly the picture that we see right here. So I am going to draw a picture like this of some fire, like this. And then I'm like, that doesn't really look like, I might not remember that that's fire. So I'm just gonna write fire next to it with a label, because remember, if we aren't sure what we drew, we can label things. So I'm gonna put that is a fire. And then over here, I am going to draw an animal. For me, I know an easy animal that I can draw is a bird really quickly. So I'm just going to really quickly draw a bird right here. And it's flying. And because there's a fire there, it is going away from the fire. So I'm going to put an arrow there so that I know that it's going away. And then I'm going to draw another picture like this. I'm going to draw some more fire. And I'm going to label it fire again. It got kind of messy, but that's okay, because this is just supposed to be a quick sketch to help me remember what I wanted to remember, what was surprising from the book. And then I'm going to draw another bird. And this time, I'm going to draw the bird this way, because I am going to cross out the fire for this one. And then I'm going to show the bird coming back. So now I have what's going to help me remember that fact. Remember the fact that I wanted to read from the book? Let's go back to the book. The fact that I wanted to remember was that after a fire, plants grow back and animals return. In fact, wildfires are an important part of nature. So now I remember that during the fire, when I drew the fire, the animals go away, like this bird's going away. And then after the fire, animals are going to go back to where they were. And so I might write something next to it so that I can remember, like a caption. I can remember what the fact was and why I drew that picture. So I'll put, during wildfires, animals go away from forests that are on fire. After the wildfire, the animals return to the forest. So now I have a sketchnoting page that shows a picture of what I wanted to remember from the book, and it has a caption that will help me remember what it was that I was really surprised about from the book. So is my drawing beautiful? No. Did I spend a lot of time on it? No. But I'm using my sketchnoting to help me grow as a reader and help me remember the surprising things that I learned from my reading. So I have that page, and now I want you, if you drew something similar to me, to go on to your next page. So whenever we were in the little notebooks, the little reading notebooks, you can use the whole page, and then you can just flip to another one and open it up the whole way and use it like one big piece of paper. Now I'm going to keep reading this book about wildfires, and I want you to look for at least one more thing that you want to create a sketch note of in your notebook. So remember, you're looking for something that is surprising, and then you're going to draw a picture that will help you remember the fact that you wanted to remember, the surprising thing. So this picture helps me remember this. So while I'm reading, I want you to look for something else surprising and then create a sketch note about it. Whenever I get to the part that you find surprising in the book, you can pause the video and do your sketch note and then keep listening to the book. And it's really important that you do this because you're going to be showing it to me on Seesaw, and you're also going to be sharing it in your groups later today in breakout rooms. So you're going to want to make sure that you have some sketch note about something surprising from the book in your notebook. So let's keep reading. Let's look for surprising things. Up in smoke. Even the biggest wildfire starts with a single spark. A lightning strike is a common way for a fire to ignite. Whoa. For me, that was another surprising fact because we just had lightning last week, and that makes me wonder if any more wildfires started because of the lightning. So we could do another sketch note page about how a lightning strike is a common way for a fire to ignite. So think about a picture you could draw to help you remember that. Maybe that's what you'll draw in your sketch notebook for your next page, or maybe you'll keep listening to see if there's another fact that you think is more interesting, more surprising. Volcanoes can also start fires when hot lava ignites grass or brush. Other wildfires start when people are careless with matches or when building campfires. Hot word here is ignite, which is to catch fire. Hot words could also be something that you add to your sketchnoting page if you wanted to. Lightning strikes Earth more than 100,000 times a day. That's also surprising. You could also add that. And something that you could do, something that we should have done that I'm going to go back and do now on my page is we should have written the name of our book. And this is something that I forget a lot in my sketchnoting, and then I want to know what book I was writing about. So this book is just called Wildfires, and we should have put this as a title at the top of our page so that we could remember it. So go ahead and add that to the top of your page, and you can add to the same page. Maybe if you wanted to draw a little picture of the lightning over here or something, you could put it on the side, or you could go to a new page too. There's lots of choices with sketchnoting. It's however you think you will remember the surprising things you learned from a book. Keep reading. A wildfire needs 3 things in order to burn: heat, fuel, and oxygen. Is this surprising? Maybe you want a sketch note about this. A source of heat starts a fire and keeps it going. Heat might come from a lightning strike or a match. Fuel gives fire the energy it needs to keep burning. Fuel can be trees, other plants, or fallen leaves. Fires also need oxygen. For fuel to burn, it must react with oxygen in the air. This combination of heat, fuel, and oxygen is called the fire triangle. A fire can be put out by removing any part of the triangle. Hot words here are fuel, which is any material that can be burned to produce heat or power, and oxygen, a colorless, odorless gas that is in the air we breathe. So for me, sometimes like my other page that I sketch noted, it wasn't a picture that came from the book, but I really like this page, and I think that maybe this page I would want to copy straight into my notebook. So maybe I would draw the fire triangle and put heat, fuel, and oxygen. I might put it on the same page here. So maybe right here. Now I would add to my page. Maybe you will add this to your page, or maybe you have something different going on. But I might add right here the fire triangle. Who remembers what it is? it is heat, and I might look back at my page. The 3 things a fire needs are heat, here it is, heat, fuel, and oxygen. So I might add those in, heat, fuel, and oxygen. You can add those to your page if you want to, or you can sketch note on something else. Wildfires can burn in 3 different ways. A ground fire is a slow-moving fire. It burns dead, rotting leaves and the roots of plants on or in the ground. A surface fire moves along the forest floor from plant to plant. It also burns fallen leaves and branches. A crown fire spreads quickly in the tops of trees. Winds can cause a crown fire to change direction in an instant. Is that surprising? All 3 types of fire can happen in the same wildfire. A wildfire can move as fast as 14 miles an hour. Is that a surprising thing you want to sketch note? Our hot word is crown, the top part of a tree. Okay, so I'm going to stop there now, readers, but I will put a link to the book so that if you want to keep reading and you want to keep adding even more surprising things than we got to today in your sketchnoting, you can do that. But sometimes I stop reading a book because I'm like, whoa, that was already so much information that I just learned about wildfires, and now I want to make sure to sketchnote it. So make sure that you have something sketchnoted and that you turn in your page on Seesaw. I'm really excited about us using sketchnoting this year to become even better readers and to have our handy dandy reading notebooks full of all of the awesome, surprising things that we learn. So remember, make sure that you did this because you're going to turn it in on Seesaw, and then you are also going to be talking about it later in breakout rooms. Great job, readers!